Hello there. We have come up with the merged version of the Guides to Write Business Requirement Document or BRD, Functional Requirements Document or FRD, and User Stories. You can refer to BRD and FRD guides in case you are following the waterfall model and User Stories in case you are following Agile. All the three guides have been made chapter-wise for ease of use in case you want to directly look into the guide you want to refer to. Stay tuned. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified about all our new videos on business analysis.
Hello there. This is one of the most requested video, Guide to Write a Business Requirements Document or BRD. You can use this video as a guide to write your next business requirements document. We will cover what a BRD is and all the sections that BRD must contain with a simple case study. So stay tuned. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified about all our new videos on business analysis. Okay, let's start with an explanation of what a BRD is. A business requirements document is the starting point for any project. It is the customer's voice, whether that's an internal customer within the organization or an external customer. The business requirements document outlines the customer's needs and expectations. It doesn't specify how a project will be carried out. That gets outlined in the functional requirements document. But it does explain why the project is needed and what the customer hopes to see once the project is complete. Next, let us understand why a BRD is required. A business requirements document is about setting expectations. If the customer can establish their expectations from the very start, the entire project team will have a single point of reference to refer to throughout the project. In other words, it answers the question, did the project deliver what the customer expected? It also provides clarity to a project. It is beneficial to everyone involved in a project to write this down and get the customer to sign off on it. A well-written requirements document will help you avoid a crisis later on in a project when teams have disagreements on what they need to be building or why. Finally, a requirements document assists the entire project team and the customer in aligning around a big common goal. Everyone will be, quite literally, working on the same page. What should a business requirements document include? The BRD should contain these 14 sections which we are going to talk about one by one. Just a caveat, it varies from company to company, but in general these 14 sections are required. Let us begin with a case study. Jane is the owner of Vegan Gardens, a good restaurant that serves vegan dishes for the employees of the companies working nearby. Her clients love her food so much that she keeps getting frequent orders for weekday dinners and weekend lunch and dinners for home delivery. Her customers occasionally request that the food be delivered to their workplace if they are stalled at work. She figured that if she had an online home delivery application built, customers could easily see the items available on the menu. With a few clicks, they could order, pay, and indicate their location. The staff could see the ordered items and delivery boys could easily locate the customer's location using map softwares and make the delivery quickly. This is a fantastic additional revenue generator for Jane and also provides customers with great customer convenience to satisfy their needs. Let us quickly discuss the 14 sections of the BRD with this example. Section 1. Author, Change Control and Approvers. Any project's business requirements document is crucial, thus any changes should always be managed by the document's owner. So the first section of the document should outline the name of the author, change control. This lists the dates, authors and details of any changes made to this document. You can use this data to keep track of any modifications made during the life of the requirements document. The approvers. The persons who will approve and sign this document, this is typically the customer team. In our case study, Adam Wells is the business analyst working on the project with Jane. He is creating the BRD document post the requirement elicitation sessions with Jane and her team. The person to approve would be Jane post review of the BRD. Section 2 Executive Summary. A business requirements document can be lengthy in large projects. Some project stakeholders benefit from being able to see the requirements at a glance. That is the purpose of the executive summary. The executive summary should be the first section of the document a reader sees, as it will summarize the remainder of the requirements document. In our case study, this section should contain a summary of home delivery applications requirements like customers being able to see the menu, order and make payment within a few clicks and so on. Section 3 Glossary. In more technical or specialized projects, it is tempting to use industry jargons for its ease. But these documents will often be read by a variety of people from different backgrounds and levels of expertise. Use accessible language whenever possible, and if you must use jargons or acronyms, include a glossary near the beginning of the document. As you can see from the sample table provided in the slide, it has 3 terms which can explain the readers of the document what it means. Section 4 Business Goals. Do not confuse business goals with project objectives. Business goals are an interpretation of how the project will fit into the larger needs of the company. The business goals should also be consistent with the company's overall strategy. In our case study, the business goals will be allowing customers to order online from the comfort of their own homes and providing quick deliveries. This would lead to our next goal of providing a positive customer experience. Because of the first 2 objectives, the third and the most important business goal is to increase revenue through this additional channel. Section 5 Project Overview and Objective. The project overview is a short, concise outline of the project. It will cover the project background and the most significant project features. Project objectives are a summary of what the team intends to achieve with this project. It is a useful reference point throughout the project. You can use these objectives to create measurable success criteria. In our case study, project objectives are creation of an online application for the customers to view the menu, order and pay. Creation of staff portal to view the order details and guide in food delivery. Section 6 Project Scope. Outlining the project scope is crucial. What the company will include and exclude from the project's goals. In other words, by outlining this, you can prevent scope creep in the future. In our case study, the project scope would call for the delivery of 2 important things. Customers can explore the food options, place online orders and pay using a customer-facing application. On the staff side, a staff portal is available for managing the received orders and their delivery. It is also essential to highlight the scope exclusions. It was decided that in the event of problems, the payment refund would be handled manually outside of the application. Section 7 Success Criteria. Success criteria is everything you are going to track to see if the project has achieved its goals. If at all possible, base your success criteria on calculable measures. That will make it easier to monitor the project success. In our case study, in line with our business goals which we discussed in the earlier slide, there can be 3 key success criteria. Increase in the revenue by 20%. The additional 20% revenue to be from this new online channel. Customer ratings of 4-star and above to be received from the customer survey. For speedy service, the typical turnaround time for food deliveries should be less than 30 minutes. Section 8 Current State. This section puts the project within the broader context of the organization. Talk to key stakeholders and specialists in the project team. You will be able to see how these business requirements fit into the overall business framework with the aid of their experience and knowledge. In our case study, Jane is not having an option for online delivery. The same can be stated and mentioned. But if Jane had some form of home delivery, that has to be documented in this section. Section 9 Target State. The target state outlines where the organization hopes to be in the future after the project is complete. As with the current state, it will put these targets within the broader business context. The document's target state provides an additional chance to describe how the project will have a positive impact on many facets of the business after it is finished. Process flows that show how customers and staff interact with the new web and mobile applications can be documented in our case study. We have a video on process mapping. You can see the link in description below to learn more on process mapping. Section 10, RAID. This part gives credence to the thoughts and planning that went into the requirements document. Use this part to demonstrate your due diligence before laying out any criteria in the requirements document. Split this into 4 sections: issues, risks, dependencies, and assumptions. It will assist you in developing a more thorough comprehension of some of the issues and risks that the project faces. Section 11, Major Requirements. The list of requirements will be the most significant part of your document, so split this into sections and headings if you can. Be sure to include the priority when outlining each requirement. That will help the project planning later on in case the project manager splits the work into project milestones. It will also help prioritize the work order if there are resourcing conflicts. In our case study, I have listed 4 business requirements. The usual numbering of business requirements is BR followed by the number sequence like BR1, BR2 and so on. As you can see from the slide, 4 business requirements are listed as an example. BR1. Customers should be able to see the food items available for home delivery. BR2. Customers should be able to select and order the items they need. BR3. Customers should be able to modify their orders before submission. BR4. Customers should be able to make online payment for their orders. The remaining requirements can be written on the same lines. Section 12, Business Rules. This is a list of statements that the project requirements must follow. They are the constraints that the business requirements are bound by. Outlining these ensures that the project is fully compliant once complete. In our example, I have listed 2 sample business rules. Rule number 1. Customer cannot modify the order once it is submitted. Rule number 2. Customer has to make online payment for orders greater than $100 as part of risk mitigation. In our case, the customer does not pay cash on delivery. Section 13, Reference Documentation. Often business requirements have a history. Maybe some new bespoke software is needed because the old one has problems, for example. You should list any historical documents that are relevant to the business requirements in this section. In our example, Jane had prepared a business case document for this initiative, providing more details on it. That can be included in BRD for further reading. Section 14, Project Schedule and Budget. This section does not outline the full project plan. That will come later. The purpose of this document is to outline time and cost constraints for the project. In other words, what the key milestones are, which can be specific dates, months or years depending on the size and scope of the project, and the full budget of the project with an optional contingency budget if possible. This is an optional section. It is included in most of the companies and others manage it as a part of the project plan. Let us look at a sample waterfall project's schedule and budget section. Design will take a month. Development will take 2 months. Testing will take a month. Go live is in the month of May. This slide will provide a summary of the 14 sections. 1. Author, approver and change control. 2. Executive summary. 3. Glossary. 4. Business goals. 5. Project overview and objectives. 6. Project scope. 7. Success criteria. 8. Current state. 9. Target state. 10. Risks, assumptions, issues and dependencies. 11. List of requirements and priorities. 12. Business rules. 13. Reference documentation. 14. Project schedule and budget. Go ahead and give a like to the video or super thanks if you enjoyed this video. Share it with your friends. Until next time.
Hello there. This is one of the most requested video, Guide to Write a Functional Requirements Document or FRD. This video can help you write your next functional requirements document. With a simple case study, we will discuss what FRD is and all of the sections that a FRD must contain. So stay tuned. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified about all our new videos on business analysis. This is a continuation of our earlier video on writing BRD, which you can view by clicking the link in the description below. Okay, let's start with an explanation of what a FRD is. The Functional Requirements Document (FRD) is a detailed guide that explains how the software works and its useful features to a software user. This document should provide a clear vision of what the business wants to achieve and how your product or service will help them achieve it. The FRD enables business analysts and stakeholders to ensure that the software meets the needs and expectations of the users. In your FRD, describe how users interact with the system and anything on the screen. It also explains what happens when there is an error and how the users can recover from it. The FRD then describes what the system is supposed to do and how users can use it to make their jobs easier. Next, let's understand why a FRD is required. Functional Requirements Document creates a mutual understanding of how the system should operate between various stakeholders. Users who are knowledgeable about how the system operates are required to provide feedback for the document. They can then offer insightful feedback to assist other users in managing the product. The FRD is utilized by other groups in other areas of the company. Management, marketing, sales, customer service, support, and the application development team can all be considered among them. The document addresses these groups differently and takes into account how it reads so that it is easier to understand. What should a functional requirements document include? The FRD should contain these 10 sections which we are going to talk about one by one. Just a caveat, it varies from company to company, but in general, these 10 sections are required. Let us begin with a case study. Jane is the owner of Vegan Gardens, a good restaurant that serves vegan dishes for the employees of the companies working nearby. Her clients love her food so much that she keeps getting frequent orders for weekday dinners and weekend lunch and dinners for home delivery. Her customers occasionally request that the food be delivered to their workplace if they are stalled at work. She figured that if she had an online home delivery application built, customers could easily see the items available on the menu. With a few clicks, they could order, pay, and indicate their location. The staff could see the ordered items and delivery boys could easily locate the customer's location using map softwares and make the delivery quickly. This is a fantastic additional revenue driver for Jane and also provides customers with great customer convenience to satisfy their needs. Let us quickly discuss the 10 sections of the FRD with this example. We had used the same case study for BRD in our previous video. You can check that out if you have not done so using the link in the description below. Section 1. Author, Change Control, and Approvers. Any project's functional requirements document is crucial, thus any changes should always be managed by the document's owner. So the first section of the document should outline the name of the author, change control. This lists date, authors, and details of any changes made to the document. You can use this data to keep track of any modifications made during the life of requirements document. The approvers, the people who will approve and sign this document. This is typically the customer team. In our case study, Adam Wells is the business analyst working on the project with Jane. He is creating the FRD document using the signed off BRD document. The person to approve would be Jane post review of the FRD. Section 2 Overview. The objective of the document is to make the end users aware of its significance, importance, and benefits. The overview must highlight the crucial goals it must achieve while appealing to the end users or people with little to no understanding. This component of our case study has to include a summary of the requirements for a home delivery application, such as the need for the customers to be able to view the menu, place an order, and pay with only a few clicks, and so on. Section 3 Glossary. A glossary near the start of an FRD acts as a referral guide for complex terms. The glossary should have an exhaustive list of abbreviations, acronyms, or industry-specific terminology used in the FRD. It will help to ensure that both the team and the readers can understand what each term means. As you can see from the sample table provided in the slide, it has 3 terms which can explain the readers of the document what it means. Section 4 Scope. Outlining the project scope is crucial. You can avoid scope creep in the future by specifying this. The scope of our case study would require the delivery of application functionality connected to 2 crucial things. Customers can browse the menu items, order food online, and pay utilizing a service-oriented application. A staff portal is available for controlling orders received and their delivery on the staff side. The scope exclusions or out-of-scope objects must also be made clear. In the event of issues, it was determined that the money refund would be processed manually outside of the application and that no system function would be necessary. Section 5 List of functional requirements. The requirements list will be the most important part of your document, so divide it into sections and headings if possible. The list explains each feature and function that will be included in the system, including what they do and how they operate. Functional requirements document should always align with your business requirements document. Let us take one of the business requirements from the BRD and write functional requirements for it in our case study. Functional requirements are denoted by numbers such as FR1, FR2, and so on. Let us look at BR1. Customers should be able to see the food items that are available for home delivery. We can use these 2 sample functional requirements for this business requirement. FR1. The system shall display the food items that are available for home delivery organized by category. FR2. When the user clicks on the image or more details button, the system should display more information about the specific item. For each of these functional requirements, you can elaborate on the details of the requirement as well as supporting models, which we will cover in the following slide. Section 6 Supporting Models. To provide more details, supporting models can be embedded in the FRD, which will help the stakeholders to understand the functional requirements better. Visual diagrams such as use case diagrams, activity diagrams, flow charts, ER diagrams, and wireframes are examples of supporting models. In our case study, functional requirement number 1 is that the system should display the food items available for home delivery grouped by categories. We can include a wireframe to assist developers in visualizing the content, image, text, buttons, etc. that should be displayed. We can also add a tabular sheet to provide the mapping between food items and the different categories. We can also use an entity relationship diagram to design the backend tables and to store the information that will be displayed on screen. For each functional requirements, we can add supporting models to elaborate the requirements and provide stakeholders with different perspectives on the requirement. Section 7 Non-Functional Requirements. The FRD aims to support any non-functional business requirements including performance, security, reliability, usability, etc. These requirements, which are critical for implementing the system or product, may require additional details to meet any needs. We can use these 2 NFRs in our case study. NFR 1. The system should respond to users' input within 2 seconds. This is a performance-based NFR. NFR 2. During a month, the system should be available 99% of the time. This is a reliability related NFR. Section 8 RAID rate. This part gives credence to the thoughts and planning that went into the requirements document. Use this part to demonstrate your due diligence before laying out any criteria in the requirements document. Split this into 4 sections: issues, risks, dependencies, and assumptions. It will assist you in developing a more thorough comprehension of some of the issues and risks that the project faces. Section 9 Validation. The validation section is optional but can help a functional requirements document. It lists the various test criteria to ensure that the system is functional and is working as intended. Validation is beneficial in ensuring that the business use cases are working as expected. The following are 2 sample business scenarios based on our case study that the QA team must validate as part of their testing. Number 1. Customer cannot modify the order once it has been submitted. Number 2. Customer has to make an online payment for orders greater than $100. Section 10 Reference Documentation. The references section includes a list of any documents, web pages, or resources related to the FRD. This section helps to ensure that the user understands what it includes and how it is intended to be used and implemented. In our example, this section could include links to the documents such as Business Requirements Document and Requirement Traceability Matrix (RTM) created by the business analyst Adam for further reading. Time to summarize. This slide will provide a summary of the 10 sections. 1. Author, approver and change control. 2. Overview. 3. Glossary. 4. Scope. 5. List of functional requirements. 6. Supporting models. 7. List of non-functional requirements. 8. Risks, assumptions, issues, dependencies, RAID. 9. Validation. 10. References. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like or contribute using the Super Thanks button. Please share it with your friends. Until the next time.
Hello guys, welcome to yet another video from Prefect BA YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to discuss how to write a good user story. We're going to look at the key components which makes a good user story, and later we're going to use a case study and write out a sample user story. So we have a lot to cover, so let's get started. There are 3 key components of a good user story. Number 1, who, what, and why. Who requires it, what is required, and why is it required. So this provides a context for the user story. The second component is the acceptance criteria. So in order for a user story to be termed as delivered, the acceptance criteria needs to be satisfied. So this kind of helps the development team and also the testing team to work on their unit test cases and the QA test cases and ensures that the required functionality for a particular user story is delivered. Component number 3, supporting models. So these are some supporting documents or analysis models like screen mockups, process flow, screen navigation flow, data models, business rules. So these are some artifacts which can be added to the user story, which provides more context and more background and more information to the development team and also to the testing team. And this is will really help if the team are not sitting together and they are like widely distributed, and these 3 components will really help the project team to understand the entire user story and help it to be delivered correctly. Okay, let's start to look at a case study and build out a sample user story, which will help to understand this concept better. So James is a BA who's working with a client called Vegan Gardens. So they're a restaurant and they're looking for a mobile app which will allow their customers to book a table. The features they are looking for are registration, login, table booking feature, confirmation message once the booking is confirmed, and also to display only the available time slots to the customer. So James is documenting these features using user stories. Let's take feature number 5, that is to display the available time slots to the customers and build a sample user story using the 3 components which we just discussed. So let's start to look at a user story example for the feature of showing the time slots to the customer only when a table is available. So let's build out the 3 components which we just spoke of. So the component number 1 is who, what, and why. And the template which can help to frame this is, it's a commonly used template across. It is as a who, I want what is required, so that why is required. So this is a basic kind of a template which can be used to capture this information. So let's see an example for this. So as a customer, I want to only see the time slots when a table is available so that I can make my reservations. So basically this explains that the customer using the mobile app should only see the time slots when a table is available so that they can make the reservation. If a time slot is not available, it's fully booked, then it should not be displayed to the customer. So that's what this user story kind of tackles, and this is what the who and what and why is being set up. So let's look at the second part, which is acceptance criteria. So the template which can be used for this is given, when, and then. So this is it's called a behavior driven development approach. So this basically kind of documents the acceptance criteria in the form of scenarios, so which gives clear-cut understanding of what is required to the both the dev and the testing team. So given is a context, what are the preconditions, when an event is what has happened, and then describes the outcome, what should happen in these conditions. So let's look at an example for this. So given I'm registered and logged on to the Vegan Garden mobile app. When I select book a table button and select the date and the number of guests, so that's the event, then I can only see the time slots when a table is available. Let's look at component number 3 of the user story, which is the supporting models. So as earlier spoke about, the more supporting models can be screen mockups, process maps, data models, business rules, anything which can help to support the user story with better understanding and more context and background, which are required. Again, it should be relevant for the development and also the IT teams, the testing team. So let's look at screen mockup navigation for this feature. So an example is the first box is the just a mock-up of the Vegan Gardens mobile app. So this is a book a book a table button. So when a customer clicks on it, they are directed to a screen where they can select the date and the number of guests, and once they select the date and number of guests and then they click the next button, they would be redirected to another screen which shows the list of time slots which are available. So in this example, if you see, we have shown 6 to 7:30 p.m. as one time slot, and then there is 9 to 10:30 p.m. as another time slot which can be selected. Usually the um, and time slot is 1.5 hours for this particular restaurant. So if you see here, the time slot from 7:30 to 9 p.m. is missing. Uh, because it's not available. So we just wanted to demonstrate how it will look, and this screen navigation flow can be attached as a supporting model, so that the development team and also the testing team gets an idea. Okay, what is it helps them to better visualize what we have put in words in component 1 and 2. So that covers it. I think we have covered the three key components for writing a good user story. So in the next, whenever you're writing a user story, you can refer this video, and then you can use it as a reference and start writing out the user story. So if you enjoyed this video, I would highly recommend to go and subscribe to our channel right now. The reason I would ask you to subscribe is we post a video every week on business analysis technique, tools, and interview preparation and tutorials, which will help you to become a better BA. So please go ahead and subscribe to our channel and click on the notification icon if you have not already done so, and so that you can continue learning and become a better BA. Until next video, see ya.